Hi guys, so today I'm just going to talk about the 135 G Master. So it's an f1.8 very fast telephoto prime, and I've owned this for a good few years now, and it's an absolute weapon. It's an absolute beautiful lens to use, super fast autofocus. It's got four very fast quiet autofocus motors in it. When you're thinking four, that's ridiculous, and it really does show, especially even if you want to use it for wildlife. It really does shift the autofocus very quickly. So yeah, f1.8, we've got a ring here so we can adjust that, or we can click it into the A mode, which is auto, which means you can either let the computer, the camera, actually adjust it if you're in auto or whatever, or you can actually use your thumb wheels for adjusting the aperture. I prefer to use this. Yeah, it just works lovely. You can turn it on or off the click, so you can have it nice and smooth if you're doing video. The only downside of this lens I find is the bokeh. It's not necessarily the downside, it's just not as pretty as something like, I think, the 105 Sigma f1.4, which is massive. Has very circular circular bokeh, I think, even wide open. This at f1.8 is a little bit cat's eyed. So if you stop it down to f2.8, it goes perfectly circular and it looks absolutely lovely. The benefit of this is I actually owned the Sigma version of the 135, and the reason I upgraded to this was because you can focus quite a bit closer. So this could focus quite a lot closer than the Sigma. Obviously faster autofocus and just a little bit better really. This thing's never let me down. I have smashed the end off once, and there's a breakaway sort of collar here at the top, which is expensive. If you need to replace it, it's very expensive. I just re-glued mine because I know I'm never going to sell this lens, so it's just been dabbed glued, so it could come back out if you hit it again, but it's in there secure. It's not causing any trouble. I can still take the hood on and off, and it works absolutely fine. The focus ring and everything is absolutely fine as well. So there we go. This is my favourite portrait lens. I do own the 35 f1.2 from Sigma as well, which is probably my other lens that I absolutely adore, and they both have a very similar look. The amount of bokeh they shift and just the way the colours and everything are on both those lenses are very similar. So side by side, they're actually a really nice lens to have. But the shoot we did last week with Ella, absolutely lovely lady, good fun, laughing all the time, which was great. Great personality, and obviously looked lovely. We had a few different outfits, dresses, a summer looking dress, a red silky dress, and a few other bits and pieces as well. And I just thought, I'm going to use one lens, keep it all the same focal length, and sometimes it just really makes you think about your shots. When you're outside, you've got plenty of space, so this lens is absolutely perfect for this sort of situation. You can stand back, you can instruct your model from not that far away really. People think you have to shout, but you don't really have to. And it works really nicely, and the bokeh you get from this and the actual drop away from the model behind is absolutely lovely. Even at like f4, it drops away really well. Like I say, you get lovely circular bokeh at f2.8, or slightly cat's eyed at f1.8, but I find it's absolutely lovely. So let's go and jump on the computer and see what the photos look like. We also shot a little bit of video as well, a little bit of slow motion, so it looks a bit more graceful. I did chuck the drone up as well in the woods, so we could do a little bit of walking, which you would have seen at the beginning of the video, just as a brief thing. So yeah, anyway, let's go and have a look. Right, and there's Ella there doing a little bit of a slow spin. I will put her socials on the description below. TikTok and Instagram, you can go and check out what she gets up to on there. I know she's live on TikTok a lot, so yeah, go and check her out. Using the DJI Mini 4 Pro, flying backwards in the woods was a little bit iffy because there's trees, bushes, little branches and stuff like that. We did a couple of runs on this, and then a couple of different angles as well, which slowed down by half, shot at 60 frames per second. It just looks graceful. I've gone black and white in this, but if you look at my Instagram, you will see there's a colour version as well. I think sometimes black and white really kind of adds to the mood. It's quite nice sometimes, and just the shadows and everything just become a little bit more aggressive and just brings out everything. Like her dress is obviously black with some colour in it, but it really sticks out now and makes her the actual focus of the scene. So there we do. We did that. That was quite cool. I mean, spent about 10 minutes doing this. A few ups and downs. It was just a really nice bit of woodland, which was cool. Out into the wheat field. So she was in a very shiny, silky red dress, which I actually bought her for $6.99 on Amazon, bargain. Because sometimes you just think, actually, what else can we, use? And you think sometimes you see a bargain, you think for £7, may as well. There we go. So a couple of shots here. One on the left, just a static shot, quite a stiff pose, but at the same time it works quite nicely. And the one on the right, looking through the ferns, quite low, but I pushed her off centre. Normally we'd sort of go into the thirds and stuff like that, which it kind of is, but I just thought it works quite nicely actually on that angle. Shooting at f1.8, so everything is a little bit blurry in a big foreground, and then just drops off, same as this shot here. Got her to swish her hair a little bit, so you can see a little bit of movement there, and just the hair's flicked up slightly, just to add a little bit of life to the shot, but even though it's static. And then converting to black and white, just to kind of see what it looks like. There we go. And then there's two shots here. This one here of her kind of on a log, gazing into the camera, a little bit cozy, a little bit like, oh, I don't know, kind of thing. And then the sleepy one. I don't know which one you prefer. Let me know in the comments below. But I like both the shots. She photographs lovely. Very, very good fun. And her personality shines through the shots. Always willing to have a bit of a go as well. So it was really nice to be able to get a bit of movement, a bit of life into the photos. But we were utilising the casting sunlight coming down through the trees, which you can see a lot more here in the black and white version of that shot. And it just really brings out just interest and textures and everything as well. So it really works as images. A girl who doesn't mind climbing a tree. I mean, I did have to pick her up and put her up there, but it works really well. You've got triangles, so you've got triangles, circles, leading lines, and all that sort of thing, which are quite flattering. This one is just funny. I just put it in there just because she's laughing. I can't remember what I said, but it was bound to be something stupid. And sometimes you take a shot and it's just a bit of a giggle, but it's one of those ones where you think it's natural and it's just a bit of fun. This one here, rotated, leaning up the right-hand side of the triangle. Still works quite nicely. It's quite a nice, cute pose. Yeah, it's just looking into what's flattering for the person you're photographing, trying to get them to, smile or be moody or whatever. This shot here I really like, actually, in black and white. Works really, really nicely. And this one here, she actually did naturally. I was trying to work out a good pose and everything like that. It really wasn't working. Suddenly she just put her arm up, and I was like, yep, that's the one. It just looks cool. It extended her body and everything. Looks really nice. This shot here, taken from a long way away with the 135, and I just really like it because black and white, she still jumps out of the shot because the background's blurred slightly, and obviously it was in black and white, but this one here back into colour, and you can see there just the greens and a little bit of sunlight casting down through onto where she is actually walking. Here's that black dress that she was walking with on the drone when I was flying backwards. I mean, you can see there's some reds in it and everything. Very, very nice dress. A little bit posh, but works really quite nicely out in the woods as well. And then onto the red silky dress. But this has had a film emulation filter added to it, just to kind of change it a little bit, maybe make it look a little bit older and a little bit more classical. Same as here. The colours are slightly desaturated and a little bit more film-like as well. So yeah, it works quite well. This shot here I actually really love. We were struggling with this tree, and it was like, oh, what can we do there? And I actually really like this shot because the way she's sort of arching her back and stuff like that, and it just looks, and just sort of hanging. It looks like she's hanging, but not hanging. So that worked really well. But that was one of those lucky shots that just sort of, well, we'll take it and see, and actually it does. This shot here I really like. She's out in the wheat field there, And here's another shot, but with a film emulation on as well, so you can kind of see the differences. I really like the film look. I think it really makes the shots look a little bit timeless. Again, really shallow depth of field. You can see at f1.8 how quickly the backdrop just drops away and everything becomes quite flattering. It's not a perfect shot by any means. You know, she's not perfectly in focus or anything like that. This shot here I quite like because it's dark. The reds really punch. There's a little bit of shadowing, especially on her hair in the back. And that worked really well. Here we go, on to another film emulation shot, walking down the quiet country lane that we thought was quiet, but then about 20 cars all come rushing past. That one I really love. I think it's just the right motion of her feet lifting and walking and everything like that. It was really cool. I think that worked really well as a photo. Hardly any editing on these, literally just a couple of tweaks here or there, and eye autofocus doing its job by keeping her eyes in focus, even with hair swishing and stuff like that. And she's jumping up in the air a little bit, which worked quite well. And then summery yellow dress. Again, it just works really well in that sort of situation. Plus her blonde hair as well. Obviously, it complements it. And yeah, this one I love because it's a natural kind of fun photo that really shows off personality and just sort of natural sort of beauty sort of kind of thing. It just doesn't matter that she's not in perfect you know, manner and her hair's all messy and everything. It just still looks good though. This one here, a bit of a run across a field with the hair bouncing around, which really adds to the shot as well, just adds a bit of motion. And then film emulation as well. So let me know which one do you think. Do you like the film look? You can do so many different things with the Dehancer software. You can do so many different types of film, add scratches and things like that. It's really quite cool. That one there, she was going for it. It was quite funny. But anyway, they're the shots. Let me know what you think below. There was a load more, but they're the ones that sort of jumped out at me a little bit, and you know, I think they work really well. Go check out Ella's Insta and TikTok. Give her a follow, and yeah, let me know what you thought below. Please click the subscribe button, little notification bell as well, and we'll see you soon for another video. And yeah, hopefully I'll be shooting with her again later in the year. I'll catch you soon, guys.